If statements allow the code to execute some actions when a condition is met and do something else if it isn't met. This is the simplest form of if statement. It executes the lines of code between the curly braces if the initial condition is met. The condition must have a value of type Boolean, meaning it has to be true or false. If the value is true, then the lines of code are executed. We can specify an optional else clause that is executed if the main condition is not true. In this case, one of the two branches is executed. It's also possible to use the else if clause to perform another check. In this case, if no condition is satisfied, none of the branches will be executed. Though it is possible to nest as many else if clauses, it is advisable to use no more than one or two. Instead, the switch statement should be used. We'll discuss the switch statement in next lecture. Let's have a first look at if statements in Playground. Let's say we have a distance from a point, from a place. So distance equals 7. I want to display a message telling me feedback on how far I am from that place. How far you are, and it's a string. So if distance, remember that Swift doesn't use brackets in if conditions, so you do, it's very simple, very straightforward. Just type your condition and you're set. If distance is less than 5, then how far you are equals you are very close. And you see that nothing happens because distance is 7 and my condition demands that distance should be less than 5. So the lines here are not executed. But what if distance becomes 3? Then distance is less than 5, this condition is met, and then the lines between the curly braces are executed. So how far you are gets this value. You are very close. And I want to have an else condition, meaning I want a result anyway. So else, if my distance is less or equal to 5, I display you are very close. Otherwise, I'm going to tell this guy how far you are. Is going to have the value a bit too far, can't make it. So now if distance till the value of 5, you're still very close. Otherwise, if I go to 6, then a bit too far, can't make it. I want to test also an intermediate condition. So I can say else if distance equals 6, I'm going to display the message. Well, perfect distance, else how far you are will be nah, can't make it there. So now if distance is less than 5 or equal to 5, you're very close. I start getting farther, distance is 6, so this condition is now met, well, perfect distance. But if these two conditions are not met, else is executed, so now I can make it there. And I can nest as many else if statements that I want. Let's say I want another one. I want to test for 7. Else if distance equals 7, I can tell how far you are will be you're getting a bit far. So I still can test an intermediate condition. And as you see, distance was 7, and that's exactly what I get here. Though you can nest as many else if statements that you want, it's recommended not to use more than 2, because it's otherwise your code becomes a bit unreadable. You should use the switch statement that will be explained in next lecture, which is much more clearer and gives you many more possibilities.